Hello again, St. Lucia. Welcome to the third episode of Facts in Focus. I am your host, Dr. Jocelyn Clark Fletcher. Today we'll be focusing on the pillars of a society. I have three guests in studio today, but I'm going to start first with Mr. Calix, better known as Kakal Xavier, who is the United Workers' Party endorsed candidate for Vieux-Fort North. Welcome, Mr. Xavier.
Thank you very much.
I know I would like to say a little bit about you. People would, but I don't want to talk too much. I want you to tell St. Lucia about Calix, the Kakal Xavier. You see, what I know is this young police officer, gorgeous, handsome, good-looking, who has been a very disciplined police officer. But today, it's very serious. You've just done your nomination. You are now an endorsed candidate. You are what St. Lucia is going to have, and I hope, I'm not my Prime Minister, Mr. Alan Chastney, but I'm hoping that you will be our Minister of National Security, because we want to push our young people up. Okay? And I tell you all already to hope big, because you all have it in you. You do not know what potential you have until you've been given the opportunity. And that is what United Workers' Party is all about, giving opportunities. So tell St. Lucia a bit about yourself before I get down into the quick business that we are here for.
Okay, so you've been telling St. Lucia what you know about me. Mm-hmm. But let me tell St. Lucia about the real Calix Kakal Xavier. I am a family man. I have 4 children. I have a wife. I have a home. I also have a vehicle. So I'm like a normal St. Lucian, and I go through the very same struggles that every one of us is going through at this point in time.
Bills, mortgage, everything.
Yes. The high prices in the supermarkets, the gas prices. I go through that very same thing. And I live in the very same communities where we have the deplorable roads and lack of water coming to our homes. I'm like a normal St. Lucian.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're getting down to the question segment. And I just want to ask you, while it may not be possible to provide details, what is your view on citizen security in St. Lucia during this time, or maybe let's go back during this past 4.5 years?
I think, as it pertains to citizen security, this is the worst that we've seen in the history of St. Lucia. As it pertains to murders, I don't believe that murders would be the indicator of how safe a country is. But at the end of the day, it says a lot. In St. Lucia, in 2022, we had 72 murders. In 2023, there was an increase of 3. So that was 75. And in 2024, we had another increase by 2, which is 77. And if you look back, you'll see that there's an increase every year. And that's a very disturbing trend. Murders do not start with murders.
Okay.
The reason I say that, most times persons believe that somebody, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen occasionally, but persons just don't look at somebody and just kill somebody. It must have started with some minor offenses or some minor issues that they had, and that was not resolved adequately, that escalated into a murder. And sometimes I see some of the persons they put in key position, leadership positions, especially in the aspects of citizen security, you find there is more book knowledge than practicality.
Okay.
In the sense where you need to attack crime at the core, at the root, so you could effectively eliminate the issues and the scourge of crime that we have in St. Lucia. One of the things I have proposed is a complete overhaul and restructuring of the entire judicial system.
But
Not,
but wait,
yeah,
before you go into giving me the solutions or
yeah.
the recommendations that you would make when you're a minister of national security, I just want to say to you, people like to say the United Workers' Party politicizing crime. Who would? Because we all live here and we all want to be safe. And sometimes you hear only about murders being reported, and not all of them, because they shoot you. People talk about you died on the spot, but your colleague, your comrade that was with you who got shot didn't die right away, but he died at the hospital. You hear nothing about that. Then there is also other crime that may have gone up in the society that we don't know about, like robbery, rape, things like that. Domestic violence. All of these may have gone up, but we don't know because they're not reported. Now, as I know social scientists have said that the breakdown in a society impacts the crime level in a society. You know that in during the last administration between 2019 and 2020, we had COVID, no work, people were stressed out, a lot of things. You can understand that affecting maybe crime if you work in the behavioral thing of somebody's mind, these people's mind. But you heard the government have been saying they have increased employment. The economy is moving. Society is doing so much. So I do ask myself, those violent crimes, as you know, is mostly between young men, gangs. How come there is such of that big move towards it? And there was a time I was terrified of getting up and searching my phone in the morning. Every day, 2, 3 murders, young people killing, shooting here and there because of the gangs. And then I hear the government is doing so much to empower and think the police. What is actually happening?
Well, it goes back to the very same point that I was just trying to express a while ago.
Uh-huh.
We are not attacking crime at the root causes, because if you empower the police are not the ones committing the crime. You need to go to the
Right?
root cause of the problem. You need to find out, why are these people engaged in criminal activities,
Okay.
and the age range of those involved in criminal activities.
Right? We know it's a
What
very
has changed in St. Lucia during that time?
time to cause that.
Exactly. And we had a situation in Viewport where you find the Labour Party has been in power for the past 40 years and more.
No.
And some of these persons, most of the persons, not some,
Right.
who committed the murders
Was from
are
the south.
below the age of 30.
Wow.
What does that tell you? And most of the policies and that was implemented in the South were, you could say, that of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
So I hold you there
So
then.
I want you to see
What-
the trend.
So I see where you're going there now.
Yeah.
They have been controlling this.
Yes.
The hotspot of crime was the area that they have held for the longest while.
Yes.
The age range are teenagers to very young adults.
Adults, yeah.
You know, for fear they say anything, and before they say I'm no guru, but you have been on the ground as a police officer, a law enforcement officer. You were just about to tell me some of your recommendations if you get in there. Tell me, because honestly, I can't deal anymore with this instability of security in this country. You may think it only affects the community, or some might say only there, those communities like Vieux Fort and Masher and what they call it one, Graveyard. That's not true. It has impacted because murders happened, drive-by shooting happened in the north. Anywhere, anything can happen. I want especially getting on in years, you want a relative peace so that you can know crime will never be completely eradicated like poverty. But what would be your recommendations be?
Okay, as it pertains to citizen security in any jurisdiction, you need to carry out a proper analysis of the area that you're dealing with. Because I find myself as a police officer, if you're working at a police station, let's say like Richmond, Richmond only has the land aspect to it.
Reach
But
forward.
Richmond, which is in the valley, the Denry
Okay,
Valley,
Denry Valley, okay.
as compared to a police station like Marigot, where you have the marine aspect. The
Okay,
dynamics is different.
okay, so
Soufre, you have the marine aspect.
all right.
The
So you
dynamic
know
is
you're going to break
different.
it down for even me that don't understand it. So you're going to break it down for a little. So one
Yeah.
is land,
Yeah.
where there is marine, marine meaning the ocean,
Yeah, the ocean. Yeah.
right? Where
So,
boats can come in and come out.
yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yes. Yes.
There's a different
Yes,
dynamic.
it's a
Okay,
different dynamic.
tell them because you know how people.
So as it pertains to citizen security,
Yeah.
there are a lot of factors that needs to be taken into consideration.
Wow.
And one of the biggest challenges that we have in St. Lucia is border control. And it never ceases to amaze me where most of the the
Good.
wonderful policies that could probably solve crime in this country comes from the United Workers' Party.
Right.
Sometimes I even think that the St. Lucia Labour Party doesn't even care about if crime is controlled or managed. I say that much because with border control, we all know that guns are not manufactured in St. Lucia, so they must be coming out from they must be coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably through the legal ports of entry or the illegal ports of entry.
We have illegal ports of entry here.
Well, any other place that's not a legal port of entry is an illegal port of entry.
Okay, all right. You know, you're saying that to the layperson, right? So
Yes,
they have
yes.
illegal ports of entry.
Legal port of entry is you take it through the docks or the airports.
Wow.
That's where. So you go through customs, you know, and
Yes,
you
that's
do
the
all
legal thing.
Yes,
I go
you
to
do
customs,
yeah.
I get in my barrels and
all
so
the
on.
necessaries. Yes.
Yes, the illegal ones now.
Now you just enter through a little bay in Denry side or Prale.
By Rat Island and
yes,
so on.
Rat Island, you bring your thing in.
So what happened to the marine unit? They don't.
But that is my point. That's why I was saying that the United Workers' Party had that vision to bring to merge all the security agencies in St. Lucia, and it would fall under border control. So we would control the entire coastal waters.
Tell your people that when you say they merging them, let the people understand what you're
Okay,
saying.
so
merging.
the merger would be between, I would say among, because it's more than two. So we would have customs.
Right.
We would have the police.
The police, customs, and the police. Right.
We would have
the marine.
immigration.
Immigration as
yes.
well. Okay. That's three.
Port police.
Port police.
All
of them.
All of them.
Marine,
yeah.
everybody
yes,
comes as
they
one.
Come together as one.
As one.
Yeah.
So they work in one unit.
Yeah. So you'd have that that joint approach.
Okay.
Where you'd have aerial security, which is air.
Air.
You'd
Planes
have
and helicopters
yes,
and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, you could use drones to do
drones
that to secure
okay.
your area, and then you'd have the coastal waters where you'd use the police marine boats, and they would be doing their stuff. You know, there's not much details I can give because sometimes when you do these interviews, you have to be careful.
Careful what you put out.
What information you put out.
But they would be collaborating with each other.
Yes.
So information would be able to
shared, yeah.
shared quickly.
Yes.
And you can apprehend and deal with and stop and block criminal activity in real time.
Yes.
That was the vision, you see, of the United Workers' Party. So what you're saying that the Labour Party ditched that?
Yes, but that's what they did because they didn't continue with the after Herman Gill, they never continue. Herman Gill Francis, they never continued with the border control program that we were trying to implement. Yes, so
they didn't continue with that.
No, not at all.
So is that why I'm hearing how many, I've been reading, I don't know if I have been reading in the news or in what they call it, St. Lucia News, they catch how much cocaine came in at the customs, how many guns in a barrel. I'm seeing they showing, is it 758?
You know, you know what I'm concerned about?
Uh-huh.
Is what they are not telling us.
Oh,
Is not what they are showing to show like they're working. Is
all
what they
right.
are not telling us.
Okay, now you would know
Because
that. I
yeah,
wouldn't know that.
the reason I'm saying that
Uh-huh.
is we had in place a canine unit during the time that I was a police officer under
Now,
the United Workers'
yeah,
Party,
that's one hurt my
which
heart
I
too. Eh?
worked with them.
You worked
And
with them directly
yes,
on that, so
of
you have
course,
insider
yes,
information. Okay.
information where we recovered several firearms, drugs, and ammunition, and money, and everything you could think of. And it was disbanded by the SLP administration. As soon as it came into office, they said it was too expensive. But I want to ask that question. How much is a life? How much does a life cost? When you say that citizen security is too expensive, how much does a life cost? Do you know how many persons' lives that may have been saved if these dogs were kept? For over, I must say, probably two years when he came into office, we had no canine unit. And you heard where water was poured into the scanner at the airport.
Wow.
So we want, I always say, I think of what we did not intercept and not what we intercepted.
So they stopped border. They stopped the K9 unit. The border would prevent drugs and guns, apprehend those who in the trafficking business. They stopped the K9 unit, which would sniff and know, and and so you're saving policemen themselves from doing that. You know of that because you were in there, and you're saying that what is reported to the public is not always everything we know, and that lives could have been spent by all those young people who are killing themselves. You're tying that in there because they ban these things. So all these young people who get in guns now and before everything, bo bo bo, at each other. You're saying if they had not disbanded that.
Probably would have a few lives saved and the statistics would not be as high as they are.
So you're
Now,
going to deal with that.
yes, yes, we are. Because we understand the implications of having such a security system like we have now. It's awful. Even investors may not think of coming to St. Lucia. And I must touch on that point where Vieux was deemed an escalated crime zone.
Yeah.
Would you buy property in an escalated crime zone?
People want to run away from St. Lucia itself
Yes,
after
exactly.
the Fallis Vieux
So,
Fort.
so when we reach that state, do you believe investors will feel comfortable to come down to St. Lucia and invest? There are certain places, I am well versed in real estate, and I can tell you, there are certain places that the property has no value, and it's only because of crime.
If I was a big bug baron, of course, it will become a haven for them. They can come, all the big lords, and they can buy up there and run their little crime haven, maybe. No, this is sad. What you're
Yeah.
telling me is sad, but I am hopeful
Yeah.
that y'all are coming in here, that y'all will be getting in. The United Workers' Party will be coming in. You have had the direct involvement in this. You have spent, how many years did you spend in the force?
28 years as a police officer, and I just want to mention to the public that I am in fact, I was hands-on. I was that police officer who walked through the alleys.
Wow.
I was that police officer who did all it took to take guns out of the streets. I was that police officer who also went down in drains, in the
Wow.
sewer waters, planking to prevent bullets from hitting me.
So that's very hands-on.
Yes.
So if when you're Minister of National Security, it's not only putting the policies and thinking of what we'd be working with the people to know exactly, because I've been there with you.
Yes.
But now that you have told me that, and you've spoken on citizen security and national security with me, very informative. I'd like you to speak, as you came from the area where it comes from, and we're winding down on your interview. I want you to speak to your people of the area that they spoke about that has been a crime zone area. Tell your people Kaka Xavier is coming, what he's going to bring, and why you must go out and vote for him.
Okay. Yes, Vivat North. You all know me, Calix Kaka Xavier. And there are certain things that I hear about myself that I'm very proud of. It all speaks to my dedication and how disciplined that I was as a law enforcer. These traits are in me, and when I become your minister, I will carry out these very same traits to bring forth the work of the community. For far too long, we have been neglected. Vivat North holds some of the most majestic waterfalls. And I say that much because I'm looking at the youth and the unemployment rate. A lot could be done about it. These majestic waterfalls have not given us an opportunity to get a slice of the tourist dollar, ecotourism. We don't have any sky rides. We do not have any ATVs in this area. We don't have any planned tours for the taxi drivers. Farming is almost non-existent in Beaufort North. When we had our current rep, who was the Minister of Agriculture for an entire term, farmers had to abandon the fields because they did not get the assistance and the help they needed to continue the work on the farms. But I can assure you, farmers, when we get into office, for all banana farmers, you would be receiving a pension. And if your spouse, if the banana farmer has passed and the spouse is still alive, they will still receive a one-time payment from the government of St. Lucia. I want us to think about our health. Healthcare in the south of the island is even worse than that in the north. At least the north has a functioning hospital. But in the south, we have a building and we have a stadium that is used as a hospital. And we all know the horrors when we go to the hospital. We see persons in the hallways. And hats off to the healthcare workers who try their best, but the system is failing. We can do better. We need better. The United Workers' Party will make sure that they offer every St. Lucian a health insurance plan where you will be getting $75,000 coverage every year, and that is per citizen. In 2018, I was part of the Police Welfare Association, part of the executive, and we negotiated with the UWP to give the police life insurance. It materialized with Alan Michael Shasme. This is why I have the confidence that if it happened before, it can happen again.
Very true.
Please do not be fooled by the rhetoric of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Know the money.
Beaufort North, I want you to know that 1.4 billion US dollars was raised on your soil. And I beg to ask the question, what do you have to show for it? Deplorable roads. We don't have a field in Opicon, a playing field in Opicon. We have no human resource center in Opicon Piro. We do not have a health center to serve Opicon Piero. Your kids walk up to to the school, to the Piero Combined School from Opicon, and there are no sidewalks. They have to jump into the drain when a vehicle is coming and then jump back onto the road. Is that a government who care for you and your family? Your kids, they are just like police officers. When they go out, you do not know when they are returning back to your home. We can do much better. We deserve better. For a community who has been so loyal to the St. Lucia Labour Party, they do not treat you right. But there is change that's coming on December 1st. Go out in large numbers and vote Calix Kakal Xavier, who will move you from neglect to progress, and we will right that wrong. Thank you.
So, there you have it, St. Lucia. We have heard from Mr. Calix Kakal Xavier, the United Workers' Party candidate for Vieux-Fort North. I want to thank you, Mr. Kazavi, for being here with us, for sharing, and from all of us here and all of the St. Lucia United Workers' Party, we wish you Godspeed and the best of luck, because we know humility, young people with experience, this is what the United Workers' Party is bringing: experience, integrity. And you're one of those that reminded me when I was growing up in the days of Mr. Alan Buskey. Humble people, full of integrity, commitment to people, love and loyalty. So I thank you for that, and I thank you for bringing that to St. Lucia. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
So we are back, St. Lucia, again with our third episode of Facts in Focus, focusing on our pillars of a society. With me this time is my guest, Elisha Norbert, who is the United Workers' Party endorsed candidate for Mikud North. Right? Welcome, Mr. Norbert. I know today was a very hectic day for you, and that you all went to get yourself nominated.
Correct.
So now you are.
Correct. I'm now the nominated candidate for the United Workers' Party for Mikud North.
And right.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome. And you know how elated I am.
Yes, Tom.
Okay, and I'll be more elated on December 1st.
On
yes.
the night of December 1st. Yes.
Right. So, people will say, who is Elisha Norbert? Where did he come from? How he did just emerge? But you see, what United Workers' Party has found is that I like to say the candidates found the United Workers' Party. Many of you were never exposed or busy into or public into political affairs as such.
Right.
But you are young professionals, almost in this, what you call the middle top part of your career, with experience, exposure, real knowledge. And you were attracted to the United Workers' Party. And not only just attracted to, like me as a supporter, you guys decide to actually serve your nation. So tell the people, who is Elisha Norbert?
Elisha Norbert is from Monrepo. Elisha Norbert is from Lapwood. He's a community activist. Elisha Norbert has been a member of the St. Anne's Choir. He's been a member of the Le Plessis St. Dance Group. He's been a member of the St. Anne's Youth Ministry, the president of the St. Anne's Youth Ministry. He's been vicariate coordinator. He's been a president of the TGM Football Club. He's the one who transports children to the stadium on a Tuesday and a Thursday afternoon. He's the one who takes elderly persons to buy their cooking gas, takes them to the health center. He's the one who helps parents correct their children, who parents called and asked to speak to their children to help discipline them. Never did he think that he would be in politics. I was very happy just helping out in my community. I saw a lot of the struggles. And so entering into a field where leadership and serving persons is the modus operandi, or I should say should be the modus operandi, was not something I decided to do, but I felt drawn to. And I think community involvement should be a prerequisite for anyone who wants to serve in this capacity. And so this is Elisha Norbert, a man who likes to solve problems, and certainly the people of Miku North will benefit from my expertise as I am in this 100% to help solve the preventable sufferings that have plagued our community. Yes.
And you're also married
Yes.
with a family, children.
Yes.
I've heard you have seen some things also very spiritual.
Yes.
And you know, I'm beginning to reach the point where I'm saying, wow, United Workers' Party is getting it all. And I have been around well, I don't like to say young people, but you're like relatively young people that have come, this new slate that has come and joined the United Workers' Party, bringing not only your expertise,
Yeah.
your
I'm in this mind, body, soul, and divinity. Like all of me is in this.
and you're already grounded people in your communities, but you're also people who have this desire and willingness to serve.
Yes.
And that is something that has attracted me and I think has attracted a lot of St. Lucia. So I'm not going to keep you too long. I'm going to go into why we are here today. And, you know, the United Workers' Party put out this plan for education as they're coming out. This has been their campaign, one of the campaign promises. So I want you to talk to me and St. Lucia a little about the UWP's plan for free education at Sir Arthur Lewis Community College and how it will be implemented and what is the intended impact of this policy.
Okay. So I think this is a very straightforward policy, a very simple policy. I think it's something that should have been done a long time ago. What we're proposing to do is to pay tuition fees for secondary school leavers who go to Sir Arthur. And not just Sir Arthur Lewis Community College on the Mon, but some persons have asked at our cottage meetings whether Sir Arthur in Viewfort will also have tuition fees paid for applicants there. And yes, Sir Arthur in Viewfort as well, and the POSEC where they do their CAPE courses. So students who will be sitting CAPE, certificate programs, all the associate degree programs, straight from secondary school, or even those who have been out of secondary school for a number of years, maybe trying to rewrite some subjects so they can gain acceptance at the college and other post-secondary programs, they will receive benefit from this policy. Very straightforward. It's not as expensive as the Labour Party makes it sound. And it's very disturbing that they're opposing a program that is going to empower so many young people, that is going to increase access for so many young people, the underprivileged. And I think it's something that I'm proud to sit here and say, yes, I'm part of a team that is pushing for this program.
So if you became, and which you are, I don't like to use the word if when it comes to you all, I say when you become the Minister of Education, this is a policy that you would be pushing.
Yes, it's a policy I'm supporting 100%. I remember in my time applying for Sir Arthur, and if it was not for assistance that I received, and I could mention his name, from a St. Lucian who loves young people, he was into healthcare. His name was Dr. Remy. And that took the burden off of my parents having to wonder where they will get money from to pay for my tuition fees. So I know that there are young people out there whose parents have to think about where they're getting the tuition fees. And I'm happy that the government of St. Lucia, moving forward, is going to ensure that's no longer a burden.
So it doesn't matter whether they're going to Arthur in Viewfort,
right,
or in Castries.
Or on the one.
The
tuition fees
will be taken care of.
Yes.
Free, all.
Yes.
All.
Yes.
Not some.
All the certificate programs.
Wow.
All the associate degree programs.
Whether technical,
all
A-level.
All the CAPE programs. So there's no more CAPE.
Well,
no more
A-level,
A-level,
but you know,
it's
CAPE.
Yes.
Right. So I want to know, I'm wondering, why would, like you see, they say they come in with their own education plan that is supposed to be so good, yet they want to criticize something because, I mean, it's hard enough buying books for my child at primary school. But when it comes to sending my child to college, because this child has done well at secondary
Secondary.
school, and this child is going to Cape.
Right. So
I
sure.
not only do I have to buy the books,
Which are very expensive.
I have to pay the transportation. I have to make sure that because as far as I know, the college still uses a uniform.
Right, so the polo shirts in
Yeah,
some
and so
cases,
on.
the jeans.
Yes.
And you know how teenagers are. They like to look good. They want to
Yeah,
feel
because they're
comfortable.
pairs.
Right.
You have to
right.
pay. But the tuition and the exams are very expensive.
Yeah.
So if
Close to $2,000 a
so
semester.
at one point in time,
Maybe a little less.
I would have had an 11-year-old at my house because there's a big gap between my children. And I would have had a 16, 17-year-old who would be at A level. If somebody told me, I'm offering you financial assistance, I would say, okay, please offer it to the bigger one than to the little one. So parents who are getting that benefit would be very happy.
Yeah.
So this is a policy that you would be looking at.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Definitely. But all will be done through collaboration with the board of directors, with the teachers, of course with the secondary schools as well, to ensure that all stakeholders are on board and expectations are met. And it's a solid plan moving forward.
And because you have been a community man who have collaborated with the community, with teachers, with parents, with church leaders, youth leaders,
Yeah.
this would be coming, and now that you're at the policy level in education as a minister of government, this would be home ground for you, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Yeah.
Bringing people together and collaborating and working with them. This wouldn't be a new thing for you to do.
Right, and there are so many other solutions out there. Our teachers, our lecturers, even those on the board, we are action researchers. So
Right.
there are policies sitting in the minds and on the desks of lecturers that we need to explore as a government. We need to give them a listening ear. Our teachers in secondary schools, they have solutions to problems that have plagued our nation for decades that are preventing our students from excelling. And so we must give them the listening ear. And I'm happy that I'm getting an opportunity to actually sit at this level. Because I know I'm like a telephone call away from my peers who are hoping to contribute to solving the problems of our country.
Okay,
in
so
education.
let me just tell you, you have been an experienced educator for many years, right?
22 years.
22 years as an experienced educator. So that's why I like people who know the work from the ground up. What are your thoughts on the education system in St. Lucia? And when you become the Minister of Education, what would your vision for that sector be?
We would probably need 8 hours for me to answer this question completely.
All right, put it précis it for our St. Lucia for them to really understand. Because education is almost as important as health.
St. Lucia is a very gifted nation. Many intelligent persons in this country. We have a lot to offer the entire world.
Wow.
Our education system can produce a lot more than it's producing, not just for the benefit of our country, but globally.
Okay.
However, I believe...
Well, we have 2 Nobel laureates, so...
Yes, by now we could have had 8.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay.
I believe our education system is too exam focused. Too exam focused and an overemphasis on high grades in these exams. It's causing the focus to be shifted from educating the citizen holistically, and instead we focus on comparing ourselves, our schools to each other, our districts to each other. And certain schools that score below the mean, they're made to feel inferior. And there's always a celebration or a ceremony that they probably embarrassed to attend because their school did not perform as well. And embarrassingly, teachers, parents engage in practices that take away from students actually learning just so that they get a high grade in an SBA or on the exams. Well, you have tours, for example, experiential learning, that have become non-existent basically because it takes too much time from the curriculum, or rather from the experience or putting the children through drill and practice so they know how to answer a certain type of question on the exam.
Tours, that's outdoor activities.
Outdoor activities.
Okay.
When we were younger, we used to go on tours, maybe every month, every 2 weeks, go to the zoo, go to the rainforest, go out in the garden. Our teachers will tell you that it's taking too much time away from the theory and the cramming of the knowledge that's needed.
Going to school in the gardens, in the Methodist school in the gardens, they used to take us outside in the gardens, not just for sports and things like that, but the gardens grounds were big. It wasn't as it was there. And I remember us going and learning about the different trees in the gardens, what they were. Like I can still remember this day, the brush and comb and the glue tree. And teachers did these things, and in there were those big river, a big river in there, and there was a kind of fish called zolome. So we were so bad as young children coming from school playing in those things when it rained. So the teachers took us out on these nature things, all the higher parts going towards the voice print tree. They took us little groups outdoors. I wasn't aware that things like that have just stopped.
Yeah, because right now you need to, well, in my time, you needed to remember the name of a Mayan god or Mexican temple, Quetzalcoatl, and all of these names. We do not focus enough on our land, teaching our citizens about our land.
Yes.
Our gardens, our forests, our rivers, our communities, our national symbols, for example. How many of the classrooms have a full-size flag or the pledge on the wall? We learn it just to pass an exam, and then that's it. So everything is just too theoretical. We've lost our way. And not enough, I don't think there's enough locally made material being used in our classrooms to educate our people.
So like us growing up, in my time, I knew more about the history, European history and world history than I knew about the old Caribbean history or even St. Lucia's history. I remember them an examination in primary school to spell Mississippi. Yeah, and I know all about the world, the geography of the world, and I knew more about St. Lucian history itself.
Can you spell Ponce Jacques?
Yeah.
Do you know about Casablanca?
So I see where you're coming from with the children. I must have a conversation if my boy is to see. I never really tried that and think, but I must find out how they stand. They would probably be like you.
At Teachers Training College, we use the term romanticized indoctrination to refer to education.
Okay.
And so we do not know who we are as a nation because we have not been educated enough about St. Lucia and St. Lucians.
Well, this is interesting, and I love that way you're going and you're speaking to young people in your age group, and you can give the young people that are younger than you and who are becoming young professionals the vision of where you are planning and what you're hoping and what you're looking forward to when you become minister, what I would call a more practical form of education. But we're going to pause here, and when we come back, we're due for a break. When we come back, we will allow you to speak to your constituents. And so we are back, St. Lucia, with Facts and Focus. I'm your host, Dr. Justin Clark Fletcher, with my guest, Mr. Elisha Norbert, the endorsed candidate for the United Workers' Party.
Nominated.
From Mikud North.
Nominated.
Well, he's nominated now. He's correcting me. He's nominated now. And of course, we're discussing the pillars of a society. Prior to our break, we were discussing education and your vision for education, where it goes as we go forward for the next 20 years. I'm expecting that the United Workers' Party, for once, would have a stable government for the next 20 years in this country so that things can actually happen. And what has impressed me so much is that the United Workers' Party have young professionals with vision so that they can take the country to the next 20 years of stability and development. So I am saying that's one of the things, you see, so people our ages have to step back after a term and let you all young people carry the country.
No, no, you don't step back. We lean or we stand on your shoulders so we can achieve more.
Wow.
So you have to remain at our side.
Well, to behind you, to give you
Yes,
share
to help
our
us.
vision and our
Yeah.
experience with you. I love that.
Yeah.
So I know of education and things, I can only speak to it in my time, which really would not resonate with people of your time. And as you come, what is happening is not going to resonate with the young people. So you have to have that vision looking at. And the fact that, unlike a lay person, you are a person in it, okay, in it. And you have to be able to have an education system, on education policies that would not only attract the young children to want them to learn, to want them to be inspired, but also the educators.
Yeah. The difficult thing about education is that the process has to prepare the learner for the future.
Right.
A future that is uncertain. So imagine you're preparing children to survive, to serve, or to work in a future world. Our education system seems to be preparing us for the past, for what we knew. You get me?
What we knew.
What we knew. What I, as a 40-year-old, thought was important back then or growing up. So that's what I would want to pass on to the children. But what we need to pass on to them is the right character, the right value, the right disposition for them to continue learning, to become lifelong learners and survive and become resilient to what's coming. Teaching a child, for example, how to do long division was needed when I was growing up, when there weren't many calculators around. So if I'm a teacher, I will say, you need to learn long division in case you do not have a calculator. But where the child is going, there will never be a shortage of calculators. There may never be a need to sit and actually write a lesson plan or plan out an essay in the way we used to do it back then. But if we teach the child to be open to learning, if we teach the child to solve problems, to see what needs to be done and take the initiative, no matter what comes, the child will be able to adjust. The system also judges teachers based on how we have prepared students for that same curriculum that's stuck based on past experiences.
But wouldn't it have to be looking at when you teach, especially at the tertiary level, you're preparing young people for the world of work, for university, to decide exactly what they're going to do. We have moved away from my time where we used the times table at the back of an exercise book or a geometry set to children now. In your time, they had, I mean, all these fancy things,
The
the
scientific
calculators
calculators.
and all of that you all had at school. So you all did not, I don't think.
With a battery, so it may malfunction. So you
Yeah.
still had to learn, how to do it the long way, just in case.
Yeah, and I can't, always saw they had all these electronic things. Now you can use even your phone.
Correct.
These children, and they have now what you call it, the e-books and all these kinds of things.
Correct. So
Now,
OLCS is also going in that direction.
Yeah.
Digitize the curriculum.
right, because my boys were about 4 and 5, and the older one was probably 10, almost 10, when I brought in a computer at home. And I was amazed to see how they adapted to it. And then the father turned to me and said, but you don't see them playing Super Mario? These children are that. So you're preparing children or young people, young adults. Because you hear that the young people are saying, when we come back here, when we come from university, we can't get a job. And yet you hear employers complaining that there is a lack of labor manpower.
So there's a gap
There's a
in
gap.
terms of what we need and what we learn. A child who leaves secondary school, let's say 10 CXCs, What do they know how to do? They know how to pass a math exam. They know how to pass a Spanish exam. Can they speak Spanish fluently? Become a translator? Do they have the mannerisms to work front desk at a hotel? Are they hospitable? Are they kind? Do they know how to share?
Maybe they can be an accountant.
Maybe they know how to pass an accounts exam. But put them in a business where they're bombarded with information, deadlines to meet, deal with errors, deal with personalities. It's totally different from what the way they trained in school. Everything is individualized in school. Again, because of the competition.
So then I'm saying the educators, the Ministry of Education, the policymakers, minister and all, the employers, and I don't know even, there must be other stakeholders, need to look at what are the needs of the society in the place of work. Look at what are the needs. And would you say that you need to tweak the education policies as to, or what you teach, what you prepare them for?
The way you teach. So
Yeah.
curriculum refers to the experience, the sum of the experiences that the learner has. You have teachers, we spoke about SAFA a while ago. So you have lecturers at SAFA who complain about the work ethic of students who enroll at SAFA with 7, 8 ones. They pass the exams, but they have poor work ethic.
Yeah, they can't
And that's
perform.
the same complaint that you get with the employers.
Yes, they cannot perform.
Many St. Lucians just want, at school, they just want the high grade. Because the teachers want the high grade. Because the principal just wants the high grade. Because the ministry just wants the high grade. Do whatever it takes, just make sure the child gets a high grade. When these children graduate and they become employed, you know what the high grade becomes? A high salary. Not the work that they put out, not the output. As long as I get paid. So they just want to show up and get paid. Because they were trained to just be at school and get a high grade. Effort has been removed from the equation.
And creativity.
Correct.
So
perseverance, initiative.
So when you become the minister, you're saying that you'd be willing, or you would even not only be willing, but you would even initiate that kind of stakeholder collaboration, those kinds of surveys and studies, and that would guide policy that would be would be really time sensitive, that is, or how is it, real time, that would really help, really be able to respond to
the needs
of St. Lucia.
You see, education is supposed to create the ideal citizen, the ideal St. Lucian, the ideal global citizen. That's the purpose. What do we need our St. Lucians to be able to do?
Well, having have such an interesting discussion with you on where we go in education, I hope St. Lucia is like myself and is looking forward to seeing what you come up with. And of course, people like me would be looking out for the measurement. And I hope you have enough time to be able to implement, because nothing happens. Rome wasn't built in a day. It doesn't happen immediately. And for it to happen good and for it to work effectively, there must be time. And you have to have the good quality people. And you're coming, like all your other colleagues are coming with good quality, good vision. And you have good leadership. And I hope that St. Lucia will give you the time. So I'm going to give you this time now to talk to me, St. Lucia, and your constituents about what Elisha Norbert will do, where he will go, what he offers, what he's going to bring. And when they put their faith, which I know that can never happen in Micoud North again, the mistake that is still like a sore inside of all of us, because it's the untouchable flower, that they will hold you up and they will restore it through you.
Right.
What are you giving them?
Well, I think the United Workers' Party did make a mistake in Mikunov. And we trusted a young person. We wanted more representation. We wanted a young voice. And we believed that we would have gotten that. What we got for the past 4 years, 4.5, going on 5 years, was disrespect from the Labour Party. We have not had a basketball competition in almost 5 years. We've had two football competitions. Two football competitions, district rep cups, in 5 years. Have we had a volleyball competition? Our cricket has died. To install lights on our playing field, something we thought that would happen the following year, in the very first election year, we are yet to see the lights come on in our community. Instead, and I have first-hand knowledge, first-hand experience, we see a set of people who believe that it's their turn in Mikunov to take advantage of the resources that were given to them so they could guard, so the community could benefit. Where are our community chairs? Who is benefiting from the sand? Where are the improvements to the Patience Court? Where are the programs that we hoped for? When I realized that the direction that this administration was taking our constituency to, I had to leave. I would not betray the people of Mikunov and sit by and see that we get dismal representation, disrespect to a young man who put himself and his career to serve the St. Lucia Labour Party. I would not stand idly by. I did the honorable thing, and I went in search of a set of young people, set of experienced persons who will trust the ideas that have come from the groups that I've been involved with, and I know that we'll get the support from the United Workers' Party to take Mikunov to the next level. Our constituency will become a place where employers will once again be happy to come recruit workers for their establishments. Our young people will be trained. Our sportsmen and women will receive much more support so that they could have at least 2 or 3 competitions every year. We will see the return of all the sports. Netballers, I feel for you. Cricketers, I feel for you. We will see the implementation of skills training at the old Monrepo Combined School plant in collaboration with the stakeholders. We will see the extension of the school hours to return the after-school program, a program that I really enjoyed participating in at the Patience Combined School. Our top athletes will continue to be transported to the stadium, and I'm going to take a step further. I'm going to provide scholarships, primary school scholarships, to our top athletes at our primary schools in Mikunov. Elderly care will also be taken to the next level. Transportation for community health aides, transportation for the elderly care workers, the Uber service, totally free of charge to the elderly, persons with disabilities, and pregnant mothers. All of these will be coming to Mikunov. Together, Mikunov is going to show St. Lucia that we are better when we collaborate. Whether you are Labour, whether you are Flabo, you know that I'll represent all of you. I love the party. I love the United Workers' Party. But I love Mikunov even more. So whether you are a member of the United Workers' Party or supporter or not, that will not change the fact that you will benefit from my love and the programs I'll put in place to prevent the sufferings that have plagued us in our constituency. And do not be fooled. The United Workers' Party always does better for Mikunov than the St. Lucia Labour Party. The last 5 years has clearly sent a message to us that even if a young man makes history in the making, they are not going to give him the respect that he deserves. Our fishermen, we are going to ensure that the government revises the Fishing Act. We are going to ensure that technology will be put in place to help make your practice safer. We are going to ensure that the facility in Prowley can finally get electricity and water. We are going to ensure that in Miku village, a proper fish selling depot can be constructed. You know that it was through my advocacy from the time in council that pressure was placed upon the St. Lucia Labour Party to give us a replacement for the jetty that the predecessor, Dr. Gail Rigobert, was able to acquire. Through a storm it was damaged and they were not going to replace it. But the representative that you are going to receive to get after December the 1st, he will continue putting pressure to ensure that we get what we deserve as the crown jewel of the United Workers' Party, as the 4th largest constituency in St. Lucia when it comes to land mass, and as the constituency, I dare say, with perhaps the most gifted and talented individuals in St. Lucia. Migunov, change is coming. We can do it together. No plea for our son. So on December the 1st, vote the United Workers' Party. Vote Elisha. Vote for the plans that will set you free.
I also want to say to you, Mikud North constituents, do not gamble with your future. If you can honestly say you saw a difference in the past 4.5 years, then, but you know that hasn't happened, do not put your future at stake again. Do not put your reputation at stake. Do not put your children's livelihood at stake. This young man is about to deliver to you. So I want to thank you, Elisha, for being here with us today. I know today was a very full day for you.
Oh, yes, exciting.
Full day, an exciting day.
Yeah.
But we're almost at the finish line. So let us just keep plodding on.
Yes.
So thank you for taking time out for coming here and joining us on Facts in Focus. Thank you for telling us what you're going to do for us and for St. Lucia when you are elected as the Minister for Education. My mother liked to say, receive it in faith.
I receive it.
You're working hard to receive it in faith because I believe it. Okay? So go with God. God bless you. And thank you, St. Lucia, for having him here with us tonight.